14.5 String handling functions. C language provides a big library for string manipulations. That is string.h. String.h header file provides a large set of functions, string-oriented functions. As I explained to you earlier, after numerical operations, we perform text-oriented operations. Next to numerical and text-oriented operations we perform very frequently in our program. But as far as array-oriented, you cannot find any library. But text-oriented, that is string-oriented library is there. It provides huge number of functions. And now let us see the list of functions and their functionalities. Now, simply seeing the list, you cannot learn anything. Only thing is, we have to apply in a particular program. By that, we can understand its syntax and its functionality properly. One thing I am telling you, library is our treasure. Not only string-oriented library, entire library is our treasure. It is because it provides all ready-made functions. We can just call and use. So what we have to learn? We have to learn the syntax and its functionality, and somewhere some limitations are there or specific features are there, that also we must learn. Otherwise, it may lead to error. Suppose mathematical functions are there, except one function, one mathematical function lab. All other functions return double value. So we must aware of that. And certain functions have certain limitations. Certain functions are having complex syntax. All that we must remember. And every time, whenever you work on a function, what it returns. Some functions may not return anything. Their return type is void. And other functions, they return something. The return type you must carefully remember. Otherwise, in the particular return type only, if you take the value, the return value is stored in the particular specified return type, then it is always safe. Otherwise, sometimes it may lead to runtime error. So, here I am giving the list of string-oriented functions, and thereafter we see the applications. Stringlen, strlen, page number 757. It returns the number of characters in a string. It does not include null character. String copy. A string is copied into another. A string copy, strcpy. String n copy. N, wherever n is there, specified number of characters. Just to understand, specified number of characters. Specified number of characters from one string are copied into another string. String compare. Two strings are compared. That is, they are identical or not. And string I compare. I compare means string compare function works on the identical strings. Identical strings means same case. Case also. Suppose case is different. Suppose Raju. Then, when you make a string comparison, these three are treated as different strings. So, here one more version is provided. String I compare. Ignore case. So, if you apply string I compare, three are identical. It recognizes the three strings are identical. Next, string n compare. N compare means in a particular string, specified number of characters are compared with the other string, the same set of characters. String n I compare. string. Two strings are compared by ignoring case, and a specified number of characters in the two strings are compared by ignoring cases. String lower. This is all these are this string lower is convert uppercase string into lowercase. Suppose if you give lowercase string, there is no impact. String upper converts lowercase string into uppercase. Uppercase, if you give uppercase, there will be no impact. And string dup, it duplicates a particular string. strchr, this is a particular character you can give. The position determines the first occurrence of the given character. The position of the first occurrence of that given character, strchr. str or chr. Now, strchr finds the first occurrence of the particular character's position. String or chr, it identifies the position of the last occurrence of a given character. Just find the difference. str, chr, str or chr. str. This returns the position of first occurrence of a given string. The position of first occurrence of a given string. Then str cat. Cat means concatenation, that is joining two strings. It appends means joins two strings. And str ncat, it appends n number of characters in a string to other string. Two strings are to be joined. Then str ncat takes n number of characters in the string, a substring, and it appends that. Next, strrev, reverse. It reverses a string. So whatever the characters in the string, suppose raju, it reverses as ujar. Next, str set. Set all characters of a string with a given argument or symbol. Actually, this replaces one way, whatever character you give, it replaces all the characters in the string. And str nset, set special number of characters, specified number. N always I am telling, specified number. Specified numbers are replaced by another character, that is called str nset. str spn finds up to what length two strings are identical. It also compare two strings, but in two strings up to which character, those are identical, it identifies. Next, str pbrk searches the first occurrence of the character in a string and then displays the string starting from that character. These are the functionalities. Simply seeing the list, you can understand what type of functionalities are provided. By that, you learn a very little. So, when you can learn, practically you have to take every function and apply. Then you must remember its syntax. Of course, it is not a big thing. In some cases, the syntax may be little difficult, different from others. And every time you must remember the return type. That is very core. Automatically, once you apply them, you can remember them very easily. It is not a big thing. But always explore library. For exploring library, now I will give you a technique. Now I will explain how to explore standard C library. Here, simple technique. Library is our treasure. So we must know what are the contents in that. If you know that, what is the advantage? Many functionalities, many services are provided by the library. Just call and use. Call and use. Otherwise, you have to develop those functions on your own. That means user-defined functions you have to make. So, library functions were developed by an expert. So, they are very efficient and error-free functions. So, that's why every time make it as a habit to explore library. What are there in our standard library? That is very important. And for this purpose, a simple technique I explain, just understand. This is regarding Turbo C. This is our IDE screen. Here, last option help is there. In help, if you click, you can find contents. If you click on contents, one dialog box is open. Here, you can find many other items are there. Here, you can find header files. Header files. Help to contents to header files. If you click on that, you can find list of all header files. List of all header files in a alphabetical order. And if you know the header files, if you want to explore a particular header file like math.h, string.h, stdio.h, conio.h, time.h, like that, then this is the right way. You can choose a header file and then you click on that. Then you can find all the list of functions, what functions it is providing. So, if you want a particular function, you can click on that and you can get complete explanation regarding that function, including example. So, your real teacher is the compiler, the library. It provides you everything, all the information, and see the example. Otherwise, you copy and paste that example on the IDE screen and work out. That is the way you can explore the library. Just once again, I am telling, come to help and contents and header files. And header files gives you the list of all the header files, and click on a particular header file, whatever you want. Then all the list of functions it provides are listed. Out of that, whatever function you want, you study that. Or otherwise, you do not know the header file of a particular function. You want to know about a particular function. Suppose you know clear screen. You do not know which header file that and about that. Then what you do? A simple method. On the IDE screen, you make a right click. Then all the big number of hundreds of functions, ready-made functions, regardless of their header files. No classification. In alphabetical order, all the functions provided by the C library are listed like this. Then according to the index, uppercase, lowercase is also there. Now you want clear screen, CLR, SCR, it is like this. Now you go to that and click on that, and then regarding this function, the entire details about its functionality, its syntax, its limitation, along with an example in most cases, then you can study that. So there are two ways. Header file wise you can study, or otherwise individual function wise you can study, and you can know its header files and other things. In this way, actually ready-made functions, we should know about the library. It is a treasure. So if we have ample knowledge over the library, at least you should know what are the contents, what type of services are provided by the library. If you know and all that, your job will be easy. Any project you develop, then you identify particular functionality I require. Immediately you go to, you know that there are header files are few, around 20. Functions may be hundreds, but functions you may not identify. Header file wise, functions you can identify, what type of functions it contains. Now already I told you many times, stdio.h, math.h, string.h, ctype.h, time.h, stdlib.h, like that. By simply seeing the name, what type of functionalities the header file provides, you know that. Then you go to individual files in the header file, then study them, their features and functionalities. By that, you can develop any project. Few trials and errors are required for anything. By every trial, your experience is enriched. Your experience is sharpened. What I mean to say. So, this is the way of exploring library. Always, whenever you work on a computer, just a few minutes, 5-10 minutes, you explore the library. You make it as a habit. It's always a good habit.